8 years have passed since the night my husband uncovered my affair with my boss. Subscribe for more powerful real-life stories. That night remains etched into me like a scar, a moment when everything I had came crashing down. At the time, I was married to Andrew. We had nearly a decade together. Our life wasn't flawless, but it had love, comfort, and shared dreams. Still, little fractures formed. Missed dinners, short conversations, silence that grew heavier with each passing day. I was working at a well-known marketing firm then, where I met Patrick, my boss. He was confident, charming, and magnetic in ways I couldn't ignore. During a season when I felt invisible at home, his attention made me feel seen. It started harmlessly, coffee breaks, light-hearted conversations, harmless venting. But lunches turned into late-night texts, and before long, I was swept into something I can only now call reckless escapism. Guilt followed me at every step, but I told myself I could stop whenever I wanted. I was wrong. Andrew wasn't blind. He noticed the late returns, the distant excuses, the walls I built between us. One night, I came home to find him waiting. He had read the emails, evidence so undeniable there was no point in lying. His face still haunts me. Shock, devastation, disbelief. I had shattered the man who had stood beside me through everything. He left that night. When he returned 2 days later, it was only to pack his belongings. He said he was filing for divorce, and he did. The months after were a haze of shame and loneliness. I stepped away from work, unable to face Patrick or endure the whispers that followed me through the office. Soon I quit altogether. I moved into a small apartment across town, a place where no one knew my name. The divorce went through in 6 months. We had no children, but the emotional toll was unbearable. Friends vanished. Families were torn apart. I knew the pain I carried was mine to bear. I had caused it. Eventually, I returned to work at a small agency where no one knew my past. Outwardly, it was a clean slate, but guilt clung to me like a shadow. I drowned myself in work until I finally sought therapy. I had to understand not just what I had done, but why. The truth became clear. The affair was not the cause of our marriage's collapse. It was the symptom. Our marriage had been faltering for years, and instead of confronting it with honesty, I chose escape. Word eventually reached me that Andrew had begun seeing someone named Claire. Through mutual friends, I learned she was kind, grounded, everything I had failed to be in our final years. Within a year, they moved in together. 3 years after the divorce, I saw him at a wedding. We spoke briefly, polite but strained. He looked lighter, freer. I, on the other hand, still carried regret. That moment pushed me deeper into reflection. I joined a support group for people touched by infidelity, not just the betrayed, but those like me, the betrayers. Hearing their stories helped me face the weight of my choices with new clarity. By year 5, I had begun piecing together peace. A friend and I started a small graphic design business. It was slow, but for the first time in years, I was creating something meaningful. Then I saw the engagement photos. Andrew and Claire. His smile was wider than I had ever seen. I felt happiness for him, sorrow for myself, and regret for all I had lost. I sent a simple card with my congratulations. Nothing more. Weeks later, Andrew reached out. He thanked me for the note and asked to meet for coffee. Not to reopen wounds, but to find closure. Seeing him again felt like stepping into another life. We finally talked about the past, the hurt, the regrets. He told me that for years he carried anger, but in time he realized we had both played roles in the downfall of our marriage. He admitted he had regrets too, though not to excuse me. He said forgiving me was something he did for himself. He didn't want to carry bitterness into his new life. We left that cafe with no promises, just understanding. 8 years on, I still run my business. It has grown more than I ever dreamed. I've started dating again, carefully, with honesty and intention. I know I'll never fully shed the weight of what I did, but it no longer crushes me. I've learned redemption isn't about erasing mistakes, it's about growing from them. I lost my marriage. I lost Andrew. But in that wreckage I found something else. Myself. And sometimes, that's the hardest thing to discover. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more real life story videos.